You're such a fucking cuck. That's what you are. Hey, guys. Welcome to Alamo City Geek Speak. My name is Justin. I am joined with Raul, as always, my lovely Vanna White-style co-host. And we have a great show set up for today. Today, we want to talk to you about some interesting Robert Downey Jr. news that's going on right now, 12 years in the making, I guess. Raul's PS4 got hacked. Video game news, including The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima. We also have information on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which is, if you haven't heard about that one, it's a really great one. AMC and Regal versus Universal Studios. And then me and Raul are going to break down our top 3 for the best protagonists and best antagonists and tell you who should meet on the battlefield. Stay tuned and enjoy the show.
And welcome to this episode of Alamo City Geek Speak, home for the geeks, where we talk about pop culture, Star Wars, movies, music, and other random garbage, along with tons and tons of cursing. And here's your host, Justin Chaos.
This fucking cat right outside the door. I can just hear her. Meow, meow. She wants to come in. She doesn't know what she wants to get out of it when she comes in. All she knows is she wants to be in here. Something inside in here is happening without her here. And God forbid she's not part of it. But as soon as she comes in, she's going to turn around and want to go. She's want to leave. She's like Plankton. He didn't know exactly how far he was going to make it. I didn't think I was going to make it this far. And then he did. And now he's ill prepared. He could have easily gotten the Krabby Patty formula at that point, but he didn't. You remember that episode? Raul?
Yes.
Raul, everyone, you guys can see the glare on his glasses from his phone. That means that he cares more about his phone than you guys. This is the same guy who walks around without a mask on outside. Fucking such a selfish bastard.
I'll be honest, I didn't know we were recording. I thought we were still
Yeah.
such a thing.
We call that the Alamo City Geek Speak Flim Flam. No, so Raul, how you been this past week? Just kidding, no one cares. So we're starting into the show already.
Okay.
No, but for real though, I bet people out there have been wondering, aside from staying home and doing nothing, what have you been doing?
That's kind of a personal.
Well, we gotta keep it somewhat fucking PG, right?
Because I could say a lot of things.
I think
who watches our show though? Really? I mean, do we really have to keep it PG? I mean, really?
I mean, I don't know if we necessarily have to prohibit the fact that you're at home watching, movies and TV shows, working, busting out some knuckle children. No one can really judge you.
It's true. I'm pretty sure they're doing the same thing, and don't lie.
Probably. All they're doing is getting drunk and playing pocket pool. So same thing. We're not doing a whole lot at all. All I'm doing is playing video games and watching movies.
Pretty much.
In fact, I'm really sad that today I watched Spider-Man 1, and then I started watching Spider-Man 3, and then I instantly wanted to blow my brains out. And then I got depressed because I could not find Spider-Man 2 for free anywhere.
Wait, where did you watch them on?
Spider-Man 1 is on Hulu, and Spider-Man 3 is on Netflix. So whenever you find one on the other, you're like, oh, I can go to Hulu and probably find the other one, right? So I figured maybe Amazon Prime had it. Amazon Prime does not have it for free. It's for rent, and I mean, it's not that I could easily rent it, but it's the principle of the matter. I pay fucking $12 a month for Hulu, and then I turn around and pay I pay $14 a month for Hulu. No, that's right. Just kidding. Backwards. I pay like $10 a month for Hulu, and I paid like $15 or $16 a month for Netflix because I get the 4K Netflix.
Oh, I do too. Wait, how much are you paying for it?
Like $16. I have unlimited streamers. You know how you can say that? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think I'm paying 14.
Yeah, I think if you have like only 4 people or up to 3 accounts on your like Netflix account, it's fine, but only like 2 or 3 people could stream at the same time.
My family just mooches off my account. That's totally fine though.
Dude, Netflix, a lot of shit coming, right?
Yeah,
100%.
It's fine.
But so I got to see the first one, which, I mean, the first one was really good. I like the first one. I thought that Willem Dafoe plays a great Green Goblin, a great Osborn.
Classic movie.
In fact, we had a
Classic
conversation with classic villain, very classic villain. But we also had a conversation about how James Franco, after watching movies like Pineapple Express, I can't see him in a serious role.
Oh
ever.
yeah, I just look at him as a stoner every time I see him.
Right, and he has those stoner eyes, right? So he's like, "Hey, Peter," and it's like, dude, we all know what you're doing in that lab coat. You're fucking hotboxing and listening to fucking Pass the Dutch on the left hand side.
Some of that Pineapple Express, man.
Right, I got the good shit. My grandpa grows in the the lab. But so I watched that one, enjoyed it, obviously.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch the second one because I don't know what anyone else says, but I think that the second one is 100%.
It's the best one in
100%
in that franchise or that trilogy. Yeah.
Doc Ock is a fantastic villain, right?
Yes.
So that's what makes it so great. Alfred Molina plays a great villain, and he has a lot of emotion behind it. But then I say I like it because he has a lot of emotion behind it, but when you turn around and watch Spider-Man 3 and watch fucking Peter Parker go through puberty number 2, like I just was not into it.
I'll be honest, I don't mean to cut you off, but I really hated what's her name? Kirsten Dunst, right? Not Kristen Dunst, Kirsten Dunst.
Kristen, it doesn't really matter.
Kristen, the same shit, right?
The fucking the people who are writing scripts aren't calling her either, so don't worry.
I really hated her in that movie. I don't know why. She just came across as like a bitch. Like I don't know if it's just her face, but like her face really bothered me, and I wanted to like just tell Peter like you can do so much better. Gwen Stacy.
Gwen Stacy. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dude, you got the
like
blonde
don't feel
who's hot
bad.
to trot. And he got Gwen Stacy in the third one. And instead of saying, you know what, well, I guess I'll be happy with this, he turns around and is like, let me go and get back the Snaggletooth Wonder. Let me go make her jealous in a jazz bar.
That seems, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
What?
I don't know. That's like the most memorable scene from that movie.
Because it was terrible.
Was it terrible though?
Man, no, it was terrible. Like as soon as they started dancing, and then all Peter fucking Griffin's doing,
doing the pelvic thrusting.
All he's doing is like he's just staring at her, like he's just staring at Mary Jane, like she's like, well, he stares at her like James Franco stares at the real Mary Jane, right? So he's just sitting there like just fucking like that, have that real like molesty stare on him, and then after Gwen Stacy finally, okay, real quick, just to put this out there. If you're walking through the mall and you're with a girl and your eyes wander anywhere else, instantly they know you're not looking at them.
Yes,
right?
Very true.
So how the fuck is Gwen Stacy going to sit here and watch this man who she's having a moment with, and she's staring at him the entire time?
Yeah,
and not notice.
Awkward. She's like, wait, that was all for her?
She's totally, up in that point, she's totally okay with being an accessory, but once the adrenaline wears off, she's like, fuck, I look like a whore. No, and I get why she's upset. I'd be upset too. Don't use me to get back with Mary Jane, of all people.
Yeah, she's a downgrade, honestly.
Dude, she's a failed actress too.
You're trying to date the mayor's daughter, right?
Dude,
right? Was she the mayor's daughter?
She was the mayor's daughter.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Like, get out of here.
So, that was actually I honestly feel like the Gwen Stacy from the original trilogy was paled in comparison to the Gwen Stacy in Amazing Spider-Man, obviously played by Stone.
Emma Stone was more likable, and it crushed me when she died.
Well, I mean, when
spoilers, I guess.
No, that's been out long enough.
I don't know. Some people still find room to complain. They'll be in the comments on YouTube. I can't believe you spoiled Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And I can't believe you waited fucking 12 years to watch it. That's like seriously saying like, you know what? Well, I don't know what it's saying right now because I lost something on that one. But all I'm saying is like, fucking get with the program, bro. No, when it comes down to that whole situation, when they said it was Amazing Spider-Man, I was like, oh, I know what's gonna happen. Everyone knew it was gonna happen because it's Amazing Spider-Man. And in fact, we actually had a conversation today. Yesterday, about the Spider-Man game on PS4.
Great game, by the way.
It's a fantastic game. I've never felt more like Spider-Man in a game than that one.
I think I screwed myself over on that game because that was a game I was trying to platinum too on the PS4, and I think I screwed myself over because I beat the whole game. And I did everything else I had to do except for the districts to clean up the crime. And I think my game is glitched or bugged where crime doesn't occur anymore. So I'm literally just swinging around the city waiting for something to happen. And that was the one trophy I needed to platinum everything. And now I can't because the crime's not spawning anymore in that district. And it's just like what the fuck am I supposed to do?
So that game is hard when it comes down to 3-starring everything, like fucking Taskmaster's challenges. Forget about it.
Oh
dude.
yeah, that was a bitch. It took me a while to do it, but I finally did it. It took me forever.
Nope, the drone ones fuck me up all the time.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at the bomb ones because I found out that you want to quick zip everywhere. It's faster.
Yeah.
But I found that out like after I beat the game. Anyway.
Yeah, that game. It pisses me off because it's just sitting there, and I'm one away from platinuming it, and then I can add a platinum to my collection. But,
check it out. See if maybe they fixed it by now.
I could. I still have.
Yeah. That would be something you do, especially now since we have nothing else to do.
Except waste my life away on Call of Duty.
Right, fucking Obsidian. So, long story short, Spider-Man is incomplete without Spider-Man 2. The Amazing Spider-Man was all right. Andrew Garfield did a good job, but also fuck that guy because you don't shit where you eat. The guy was biting the hand that feeds him and then turns around and they say, yeah, we're not going to keep you around. And then, of course, we had the new Spider-Man series, which is going fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Which is, if it wasn't for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, we would not have received the Spider-Man video game we got.
True. Very
because this was based solely off of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, 100%. Had his mannerisms and everything. Maybe a little Garfield sprinkled into Peter Parker, but that's just a little bit. So, on to our show. On to the regular show. On to the actual topics at hand. Now, this is a long list of topics that were handpicked by artisan topic pickers from Guatemala. The first one is the controversy that's popping up again. Now, I know that we have said before that we are not a political show, and I promise you that we are going to stay out of politics. However, when it comes down to stuff like this is something that needs to be talked about. Robert Downey Jr., as you remember, before he after he reached his pinnacles of fame as Iron Man, it was Iron Man 1 came out.
Yeah, it was the year. It was the same year. It was 2008.
Yeah. Iron Man came out, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, it's fucking Iron Man! This movie's great." And they found out that Robert Downey Jr. is finally off the smack, and he's doing great jobs. He's doing everything he needs to be doing, and taking the shame off his name. So he turns around and makes a little movie called Tropic Thunder, right?
Great movie.
Where he plays Kirk Lazarus. Kirk Lazarus, the Australian bad boy who had basically been what every bad boy is in media nowadays, punching photographers and pissing off balconies and shit. But then he does a very controversial thing in the movie. You remember what that was?
Yeah, he dons blackface.
Yeah, but so it wasn't even so much that he went necessarily blackface. The dude straight up had a surgery to turn himself black, right? So it was a very controversial surgery in which he had pigment implanted into his skin. So he officially changed himself, or like as much as he could, to a black man, right? Now, when this happened in 2008, I feel like there were already some people who had some reservations about it. I can understand that part because something as much of an issue as this, they come back and say, hey, in 2008, this is okay. No, because he had surgery. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, that movie could never be made today without someone throwing a fucking fit.
100%, dude.
Which is a shame. It's a shame.
But also, I feel like you have to give the crowds a bit more credit in that. But I also get what you say. Like, it would straight up be met.
Well, because Robert Downey Jr. has already been on – I was actually watching this interview not too long ago. That's kind of why it was still fresh for me, too, was that – Robert Downey, Joe Rogan, he was on Joe Rogan's show.
No, and they asked him, would you do it now? And he said no.
Yeah, he said he wouldn't do it now. Yeah, he said he wouldn't do it now, but he said the intent was back then. I think they even asked Jamie Foxx on like a separate episode how he felt about it. And
he told him to do it, didn't he?
Yeah, he told him to do it. And he basically said he had no reservations about it. It wasn't meant as a racial thing. It was meant as kind of like, how would I say, like a critique on method actors. I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say that, method actors.
Yeah. Method actors, and I guess, well, I think that was it. I forgot what else. Unless he said something else. There was something else. But, yeah, that was the big thing. It was a critique on method actors. It wasn't meant as a racial thing, even though it came across that way to many people. And that's kind of why we're having this discussion today, because there's a bunch of quote-unquote woken warriors on Twitter that are blasting Robert Downey Jr. and demanding an apology from him 12 years later for a movie he made.
So real quick, two things, right? Actually, they had double commentaries in there about method actors, right? They were talking about Robert Downey Jr., but I don't remember anyone getting upset when fucking with Simple Jack. Not a single person said a goddamn word about Simple Jack. Yeah. But then now we started making a big deal about Robert Downey Jr. So this is the unique situation we find ourselves in, right? Yeah. I watched this reward show with Chappelle. He got the oh fuck, what was it? It was a comedy award. Prolific writer came up with it. I can't remember his name right now. But yeah, so he won this award, and it was a huge deal. All of the people he's ever worked with his entire career came out and said some kind words about him, at the end of which he got up on stage and had a little 5-10 minute set and was talking about how comedy can never be apologetic because comedy is the purest vision into somebody, right? Yeah. So it's basically going out there and giving your opinion. Well, so we have this twofold. We have not only Robert Downey Jr., he's funny in his own right. I don't know if he can do stand-up, but I know he could do delivery of lines and stuff, and the movie was meant to be funny. Yeah. But then also, it is, in a sense, in that capacity, you can almost argue, was a bit of artistic value behind it, because they're poking fun at the film industry. Yeah, the entire movie's about making a movie. He's a dude playing. That's why. Dude.
And I think a lot of the people that are complaining now, either A, they're naive, or B, they just didn't even see the movie and they just saw that he portrayed blackface.
What's also, be fair though, another thing too, a lot of these people who you're citing, if you go on their Twitter and you check out their age, they're like fucking 21 or 22.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they were 10 years old when this movie came out.
Yeah. But it's just like, it's ridiculous. I think it's you can't even, and this is just a personal take, and we're not going to get political or anything. I know we said that, but it's, for me, it's just in the I feel personally I was born in the wrong generation, right? Because I'm technically as fucking, what are they, Zoomers? Yeah, I'm a Zoomer, and I fucking hate my generation. My generation is a bunch of fucking whiny little bitches. On it, I hate it. I really do, and that's why, honestly, a lot of my friends are older. I mean, not saying you're old as shit.
No, I'm old as shit. I'm 33 years old. It's fine.
You're older, but it's just that's
I'm
why
willingly doxing myself.
That's why I kind of identify with that group of people, is just because I was born in the wrong generation. Some of the shit that I find funny, people today would take offense to it easily. Some of the things we joke about.
Something that I've always thought about this, by the way. Yeah. I think the reason, how long have you lived with your grandpa?
What was it? 3 years? About 3 years now.
3 years, right? So I feel like because of the fact you live with your grandpa has a lot to do with it.
Well, even then, me and my grandfather, even before, and my grandma too, even before I started living here, we were always tight knit. My grandfather was my best friend, partners in crime. You'll see us baby pictures of me. I'm always with my grandfather. We are like this, okay? And I love my grandma too. But yeah, me and my grandfather we've always been. He got mad at me because I haven't had him on the show. So
we gotta have him on the show one day. No, don't say that. We'll replace him with you. I'll have a conversation with your dad. With your grandpa. It's gonna be an interview with Raul's grandpa. I swear to God, it's gonna happen. So, but that's the one thing.
Blocked on every sense.
That's totally fine. Hey, you know what? We do not define the artist. The artist defines the art.
Oh, okay.
So that's the one thing I would say is I think because you grew up so close to your grandpa having a different sense of what humor is, not having this whole don't get me wrong, with this whole Robert Downey Jr. thing, I understand the reasoning behind their issues, right? If this movie was made today, given the current political context that's going on in the world out there, given all these things, that's fine. This is 12 years too fucking late, though. This is like saying, hey, you know what? You were just a sperm in your daddy's ball sack, but your dad's also a fucking dick, so I hate you for that. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Be mad at it, but don't be. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have them seriously come out. Hey, sorry for the shit we did 12 years ago. This is the same thing they did with James Gunn. He made some fucked up jokes on Twitter, but he made also Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. So get the fuck out.
That was another thing that I was on the same boat with that when I first heard that he got canned for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and he got blacklisted basically for that time. I was just
that was
what? That was so stupid. And then you see the whole cast coming to defend him, and I'm like, yeah, because they understand the situation now.
I feel like for some people it's not enough to be, they can bring some attention to it, but it's also because they want that 15 minutes. Now,
Well,
this
also,
is
he came out and apologized too. It's not like he was a dick and said, "I stand by my fucking." No, he apologized, but he apologized for it years ago, and they're bringing it up.
there is a very big difference necessarily between how these two things started. I don't know how the whole Robert Downey Jr. thing started. It may have started because of the interviews that he did with Jamie Foxx and the interviews he did with Joe Rogan did with Robert Downey Jr. That may have sparked it up again. But and then we're gonna move on to the next subject. But the reason why James Gunn happened is James Gunn spoke out against Trump, right? Not political, but he spoke out against Trump, and then everyone who watches Fox News in the world went on the Twitter and said, "Oh yeah, well I just took fucking 15 hours of my time to comb through every single Twitter post from 10 to 15 years ago, and can you explain this shit, sir?" And he's like, "Dude, that was back when I was working on a really fucked up comedy, and I had a fucked up sense of humor, so get off it." And then it's like, "Oh, that seems very likely." Anyway, so talk about fucked up situations. You had a bit of a scare today. Your PS4 got hacked.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, it's just I'm so done. This situation though has made me very so my PS4 got hacked basically. Yesterday, I don't know, someone kept trying to sign into my account. Don't know why. It's probably some dude from Indochina that just was bored during quarantine and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna ruin this man's life." It didn't work though because there's such a thing as two-factor or two-step verification or whatever. So now my passwords or my PlayStation's all set up. But yeah, the hassle of trying to get that done. So PlayStation, their phone support's gone for the foreseeable future. I guess it doesn't exist. And when you look it up, I realized why I was having so many problems to begin with because I tried calling them, and I was like, that number looks really weird. But every time you type it in Google, it takes you like to the UK site because I guess that's the only one accepting calls. So I was typing in a UK number. It was fucking weird.
Oh,
and
that's 15 numbers.
Yeah. And I was looking at it on my phone as I was typing it in, and I was like, that doesn't look right. But I did it anyway, and then it said, if you need 911 or something, call this. Yeah, it was weird. But I got my account all situated.
Calling the NHS? No.
Yeah, I went in, and now I'm all paranoid, so I went in and made my password super difficult for all my accounts now and set up two-factor like a good noodle.
Dude, you know what?
And I'm all set.
You would have called that number, and then Boris Johnson would have answered the phone, and he would have been like, "Oh, today we are going to say goodbye to COVID-19." But so I've called Sony once, and the only good thing about it is they you are number 15 in line. Please enjoy this new song by Kratos. And he's like, "Oh, I like tearing heads off and shit."
So I did chat support today because that's the only thing I could do. And when I first got on, it said the estimated wait time is less than 10 minutes. And I was like, okay. But then I saw I was number 350 in line. And I was like, how the fuck is that going to be 10 minutes? Although it was maybe 15. But I got seen pretty fast. So kudos to their chat support.
So because Sony owns their own support, right? They may outsource, and that's fine because that's like the way of the world, not only now but the way it's always been, right? That was the one thing I just said that right now, like, you're number 15 in line. What they need to do, if they haven't done this already, they need to reach out to all of the voice actors they've ever worked with, right? And they need to be like, "Hey, so basically we're Sony, we're not Activision, so we only own a part of your soul. So can you do a line for us?" And you could get Snake being like, "Oh, Colonel, you're number 5 in line."
That'd be dope. That made time fly by too.
So
also keep me entertained. But yeah, moral of the story: make your password super difficult.
Make sure your password's secure.
Use two-step or two-factor, whatever the fuck it's called.
The Texas two-step. So something else that I was telling you about is I had a very similar situation to this so many years ago. I used to play World of Warcraft a lot. And I let my friend use my account for a little bit. You didn't hear that, Blizzard. So I let my friend use my account for a little bit so he can just get the feel of, like, does he want to play this game? Because much like other games out there that are RPG related, most of the game doesn't get started until you hit in-game. Well, I had some characters who were in-game. I said, yeah, check it out. Go ahead and play it and see what you think. So he played around with my account for a little bit, and he liked it. He got his own account. Now he's doing what the fuck he does. So I haven't played in forever. At this point. So I logged in like a year and a half later. I bought my time card. I was like, yeah, I'm going to log in and I'm going to go get ready for this next expansion. My fucking warrior, who was a tanky warrior, he wasn't the greatest, but he was all right? Dude was
Yeah.
fucking completely naked, had no weapons, had no anything.
That's
And
insane, dude.
there was like 37 silver in his fucking bag, right? So what ended up happening is when I called support, when I chatted with support, they said that not only did my account, I had to unlock my password for my account first of all. I had to unlock my account just to get in. I thought it was kind of funny, but I figured it was because it was been so long since I played. I had to unlock my account. I had to prove it was me. I had to make sure. And then when I called them, they said, hey, we had to relock your account because your account was doing some fucking shady shit. And I was like, excuse me? So when I finally got I finally got my account logged, signed back in.
You see a naked character.
I see a naked character. I'm like, the fuck is this? When I sign into, I go over, I'm like, what's going on? I'm sitting here chatting while I'm playing with the game master. And then I go and check the mailbox. And then I see fucking messages. Like to random people I've never seen before. And what it turns out was happening is they were selling gold with my character. So I don't know if they were botting with it or what, but at one point they finally said, all right, cool. We've been found out. They sold everything on my character and sent all the gold and shit to somebody else. So
shit, dude.
The good thing is though, they were able to revert everything, give me all my stuff back. They actually gave me more stuff than I had. So I'm not going to complain about that. I think what they did is they gave me everything that's in my bag the moment that person decided to sell everything. So I had shit that I shouldn't necessarily have had. I had stuff that like I haven't been looking for, but some pretty good stuff. A bunch of BOE epics that bind and equip epics that mean that, you know, I can go and sell this shit, which I did. And then I shared that money with other players when I bought shit from them. Anyway, yeah, so hacking is a big thing.
Share the load.
Share the load, even if it means just I was stimulating the WoW economy. There you go. That's what you guys like to say nowadays. Have you heard the good video game news, sir?
Oh yes,
the video game Jesus has come back and told us about good things about the latter-day game saves. The Last of Us 2 finally got a release date.
Yep, June 19th.
June 19th. You know what else is released?
After like a few weeks ago, it just said it was going to be delayed indefinitely, which is crazy.
Well, that's the best about indefinitely. Indefinitely doesn't mean forever. It just means until further notice.
But it's usually a bad sign. I think it's probably those fucking leakers. By the way, stay off. If y'all are watching this, do not include the hashtag The Last of Us 2 or mention anything about it because you're probably going to get spoiled for you somewhere on the internet because there's a bunch of leaks around about a character death, about a bunch of other stuff.
Do you think? Did you get the game ruined for you?
No. That's just what they were saying.
Okay, cool. Too bad. That would have been funny. So the last that would not have been funny. That would have been the saddest thing. You would have seen Raul cry on air.
Oh, I would have cried because I've waited like years for this game. I'm muting those words on Twitter, by the way. I'm muting all those words.
I will do that too. So Last of Us 2, also 100 gigabytes is the install file.
Oh, it's fucking ridiculous, dude. You gotta delete your
However, have you checked to see how big Call of Duty is?
Oh, it's like 200 gigabytes.
Yeah, Call of Duty's like 180 something gigabytes, 150 something gigabytes. I
wonder if I could check. Keep going. I'm gonna check right now. Actually.
So it is a huge install file. Not to mention the most recent patch that came out that finally gave us what we wanted, the Obsidian skin, which is a goddamn waste of time. That one, that patch was already. That patch pissed me off.
I hate looking at that. That's horrible.
What is it?
It's 185.2 gigabytes. That is fucking ridiculous, dude. But I play it every day, so I can't complain.
I don't know about you, but I installed the patch yesterday when I could at 11 o'clock, right? Or about 9 o'clock. It let me install the first patch. So I installed the first patch. No, just kidding. I installed it in the morning. I tried to install it the night it came out on Tuesday, but that's when you told me it didn't come out until like 11. I wanted to stay at the late.
It was a weird release. They should have just said Wednesday.
They should have. It just makes no sense. So I installed the first patch, and I'm like, fuck yeah. And then when you jump in the game, it's like, hey, also take this data pack update. And you're like, what the fuck
I don't
is this?
know why they didn't just put that together. It doesn't make any... I don't understand how Activision works, but whatever.
Well, you know how Activision works. It's all about fuck you. That's what it's about. So yeah, it took forever to install. And then finally got installed and got to play. But we didn't play very much at all yesterday because the fucking servers are shit. Regardless of how easy that happened, that just saying that just to say that, you know, we're used to these huge installs now. The other thing
Red Dead Redemption was ridiculous too when it came out.
Well, so the one thing I would say is look at
gigabytes.
Look at the size of these games, but also look at the graphics, look at everything else.
Oh, they're beautiful. No, that's not.
it's pretty much worth it, right?
Yeah.
The other game that I'm super excited about is Ghost of Tsushima. So we had a conversation on one of our episodes previously, I think, about Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice is a hard as shit game. If you don't remember me saying that, this game is ridiculous. It makes Bloodborne and fucking Dark Souls look like fucking Hello Kitty Island Adventure. No, the reason why it's so hard is because in Bloodborne you have a variety of weapons. You have all these different things you can do. In same thing for Dark Souls, you can play any way you really want to at Dark Souls. In Sekiro, it's not impossible to beat. I'm just not good at it. But you really only get like just a few different types of weapons. One of them, you always use your same katana, right? Which, because it's a katana. The idea is you kill stuff with the katana, and that's what you do.
Slicing and dicing.
It focuses around your hand, which you lost your hand in a fight. So now it's all mechanical and shit, which defies all odds and all science from the feudal Japan era. But then again, so do giant snakes that eat people. I mean, this is a big snake, right? It wasn't just a fucking boa. It was like a giant viper and shit. So, yeah. So, they focus on your arms. So you have like you have a gun, you have a fucking flamethrower, you have all this stuff. The game's still unreasonably hard. I was expecting this game to be more of like a man versus man kind of thing, not man versus unbeatable demon. So that's why I'm excited about Ghost of Tsushima. It's pretty much based in the same kind of era. It is, I believe it's going over the Mongol invasion, so that's gonna be a really cool thing. And it's heavily stealth and based, and there's lots of violence. You can't have a game where you have a wandering samurai when there's not a whole bunch of blood involved, because if you have a game with a wandering samurai and there's no blood, what you have is a shitty game. That's all I can think of.
Not very worthwhile.
Well, they had this old game back in the day called Way of the Samurai. I remember playing that for the PS2 at all. That game was that was an oddity. I don't remember playing that one. I don't remember it being good.
I played Samurai Jack on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, I played Samurai Jack too. It was a lot of fun. But the one thing about Way of the Samurai is it didn't quite. I remember playing just a little bit of it, right? And I remember it being like an open world game to a point. And I remember the swordplay being so. What's the word? Weird. That's the best thing I can come up with. So if someone at home disagrees with me, that's cool. Let me know in the comments, and if you don't, that's fine. You'll hold your words forever. So that's another game's coming out. But the one that just came out was just announced, I believe, today.
The trailer, the cinematic trailer came out today. Yes.
So excited! I want to see gameplay. Show me gameplay. Right?
I'm a big fan of like Norse mythology and Vikings and all that. Like that shit interests me. That's why I've never played an Assassin's Creed game before.
You dropped the ball already.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get shit for it. That's fine. Fuck off, all y'all haters. I don't care. I'm gonna play it this time though, and hopefully maybe I can even play some of the other ones before that.
So because our esteemed co-host here decided to just drop it all like that. Yes, it is a new Assassin's Creed game called Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
So Assassin's Creed Valhalla, as you mentioned, based around Norse mythology, or you're playing as a Viking. The cinematic trailer looks really cool. The blade's on the outside this time now.
What?
The blade's on the outside, not on the inside.
Oh yeah.
So that's really cool.
I saw it. I don't know.
you get a punch like that and kill shit. So this is my question, right? My question is this: this is taking place during a Viking versus the England or the UK, not even UK, the England.
Yeah, they mentioned the English, so yeah, I'm assuming maybe it's like the English.
It's either that.
I don't know.
It's either that or it's just the typical like every foreign country that's not the United States has a British accent. That whole thing they do in video games and movies. No, but this one being made by Ubisoft, they do a really good job of making sure that the dialects or your sort of word I'm looking for, your fucking accent is pretty authentic, right? So this one looks really cool. I just don't know when did the blade go from the inside to the outside? Because the Odyssey, the blade was on the inside. Now you don't get the blade until further into the game, like a long time in the game. You
Does
actually
that
care.
really matter? Look, I haven't played them, so
No,
like, does
it
that
matters. Since game 1, you've had the fucking blade inside your hand. So in Assassin's Creed, the first one, in order to get the blade, the hidden blade, right? You had to cut your fucking ring finger off with the knuckle. The reason is when you made a fist, the knife would come out right there. So that's why it's called a hidden blade.
Did it actually come out of your hand?
No.
Oh, it came out of your finger.
There's a mechanism here. What the fuck are you going on about? Came out of your finger. Look,
you said they had to cut off the finger.
There was a gauntlet that goes on your arm right here. Listen to me. I'm fucking telling you. There was a gauntlet that goes on your arm, and the knife would come out. Now, in other games, they adapted to stab like that. But in Assassin's Creed 1...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
They're like, there's no other way to do it, so cut your fucking finger off. So they'd cut your finger off, and then you'd cap it off with like fire. You'd cauterize the wound, and then it'd be like, oh, welcome to the Assassin Brotherhood. That's all it costs. So now you're walking around with a permanent shocker, right? So so you would make a fist like that, and the knife would come out, and like, hey, cool, hidden blade.
Okay, so the knife didn't actually come out of your finger.
It came out of a gauntlet.
Okay, because the way you made it sound like, oh, they cut off your finger and then it came out your finger.
No, it came out where your finger was. So like this, ready? Here's your hand.
Yeah.
And if you put a knife behind you can't do anything. But if you cover this finger up, the knife comes out this way.
You're telling me there's no other way they could have figured out to do that?
That's what I'm fucking saying.
These fucking time hopping. Well, they're not time hopping.
They're not time hopping.
No, they go through the what is
Animus.
it called? Animus. I know that much. I know they go through that, and then
when you play
through like the alternate realities.
Keep in mind when you're playing as Altair, right? He's obviously from a different age, and that is like back in the Crusades days. So they didn't exactly have time to sit around and go, "Hey, do we have to cut fingers off?" Right?
I just feel like someone could have easily.
No. Look. They're all about making, because first of all, being the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you had to be very devout to the group, right? And then also, let me finish here. You had to be very devout to the group, and then also they were heavy on tradition. And then coming from the Middle East, we already know how the Middle East is really stuck on tradition as well. So when it comes down to it, they're like, hey, I guarantee someone's like, I'm just asking this as a question. Don't take this the wrong way, but do you have to cut finger off? And they're like, yeah, you're not in the fucking club anymore. He's like, no, I still want to be in the club. I'm just asking, is there a better way to do it?
He's like, off him right then and there.
Yeah, you can't be part of it. In fact, take him out back and kill him. He's like, I was just asking about a finger. Right? So after that happened, everyone's like, oh, I don't fucking say about the finger anymore. So they cut it off and they fucking cauterize it. Now you don't bleed out. So that brings me to the next part. In Assassin's Creed 2, during the Italian Renaissance, Ezio de Firenze, Ezio Auditore de Firenze, right? Requiem Scott and Pace, all that shit. So when he becomes an assassin, shit you not, his uncle fucking Mario, right? His uncle Mario.
Italian uncle named Mario.
Yeah, no, and legit, when you meet him the first time, he says, "It's a me, Mario," and it was straight up like it was.
He doesn't say that.
I shit you not, he does. Look it up on YouTube, right? You're gonna go like this. You're like, oh fuck. Right? You're gonna be upset the fact that. Why aren't they upset about that? All the people upset about Robert Downey Jr. go get mad about the Italian game going, "It's a me, Mario." That's like if they showed up on the screen and started going a beep a bop a boop a bop, they should be upset about that. but no one said shit. Anyway, so so he's like, "It's a me, Mario," and then let me help you get revenge against these people who fucking killed your family. So he takes him up into this really tall bell tower and explains how the whole Assassin's Creed things works. And then he's like, all right, put your hand out. He's like, what are you going to do, uncle? He's like, don't fucking worry about it. Put your hand out. And then he puts his hand out. He grabs his ring finger. And you're like, oh, fuck, here it comes. There's the lady's favorite finger. He was a playboy. There's the lady's favorite finger. And then he puts a ring on it. He's like, we've evolved a bit, ever since this. I was like, so now's the part where you start putting fucking rings on fingers and it doesn't matter. And ever since that part, they've never even responded about cutting fingers off, right? Get this shit. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Sure.
So that was the Italian Renaissance, right? Every game since that part, they've never cut a finger off. They've always had to lose something. Generally speaking, the world takes something from them. Their family dies. They're lost from their brother. Number of reasons why they would go out trying to kill somebody in an assassination attempt. In the first game, you meet a girl. I forgot the lady's name in the game, but she's voiced by Kristen Bell.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you meet her. I feel like her name is Lucy. I feel like Lucy's the name. Anyway, so you meet her in the game, and then later on, we're in the modern age now, right? Computers. We're using a fucking computer to go back in time to see life through the eyes of this Middle Eastern assassin, right?
Yeah.
Lucy is talking to you and says, "Hey, don't worry, you have friends." And I'm like, "You're in like fucking 2066. Why'd you cut your fucking finger off?" Right? It's like, so I'm like, so we go forward to go backwards. Why is this?
Okay.
That's not even the end of it, but we will save this shit for another episode. I can talk about Assassin's
I'm
Creed.
excited to play Assassin's Creed.
Do yourself a favor. Oh, for this past like forever, PSN or PlayStation has been putting Odyssey on sale constantly. They've been putting fucking Origins on sale constantly. Whenever those games are available on sale, they're 100% worth playing. Those ones are the largest departures from the Assassin's Creed series.
Okay.
Black Flag was a good one. Assassin's Creed 3 was good. The first two were fun, but if you want more action oriented, Black Flag was, who doesn't want to be a pirate? Jumping from the top of the mast of your ship, jumping in the water and seeing sharks and shit is cool shit.
I've always wanted a pirate game like with cannons and ships and shit and just being like a pirate. I've always wanted that, so that might be my thing. So.
There's a lot of games I can suggest, but we'll do that later. Check out Assassin's Creed. Period.
Okay. Yeah,
it's worthwhile.
I was about to say how I used to play. Okay, this might sound like really nerdy, but I mean this is a geek podcast, right? I used to play Pirates of the Caribbean online on the computer, and it was like a open world, like you own a ship and shit, and like you meet other players and stuff, and you go. Yeah, it was cringy as fuck, I know, and it was like, yeah, I'm sorry, this probably ruined all my credibility.
I
right?
just threw up my mouth a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool. You got to like your whole. There was like a main story, but then there's also this other side quest, and you got to sail. You actually got to sail on your ship and get in battles with other players.
So
cool. Pretty sure that was when I had my first girlfriend online too. It's pretty, yeah.
And I can promise you, the girls who were playing fucking Pirates of the Caribbean online, you know what they say.
You got a really deep voice,
right? You go over there with your ship. It's like, I gotta tell you something. That wasn't a girl, buddy. He definitely wanted to ransack your cellars, though, that's for sure. So since we're talking about pirate games, real quick, I gotta tell you that on PC there's a game called Black Wake. It's more of like it's more of a deathmatch style game. So on PC, on Xbox, they have Sea of Thieves, which is the open world pirate game. Right?
I heard really negative things about that game, though.
No, me too. That's why I stay away from it. But Black Wake I got for free during, I think I got it in a Humble Bundle. So I installed Black Wake one time, and I got to tell you, it was a neat game. The idea of being able to be on a ship or even defend your port against attacking ships was really cool. You play as different types of pirates. You have different guns. You can have bolt rifles or the fucking flint and rock pistols, rifles, and you can also just use swords and axes and shit. Whenever you're on a sinking ship, that's when you start to panic because you got to start boarding up walls and shit. You got to load up your cannon. It's pretty cool. Until you die, and then you start getting fucking thalassophobia. So yeah, check out Assassin's Creed though. It's definitely worthwhile. If you guys have any games that you think Raul should play because he's a man of very few exploits, throw them into the comment section because I know he absolutely loves those. So
I do.
We have just a few more things to talk about. One of them is a really big thing that we decided that we need to talk about. So recently, when I say recently, I said last couple of weeks, we have started seeing more and more video on demand releases of theatrical releases. One of the biggest ones that happened recently, it is definitely not Bloodshot. It is most definitely not The Invisible Man. What movie was it? It was fucking Trolls World Tour. The same movie that had that shitbag Justin Timberlake in it. So,
dude, you have a beef with JT. You gotta figure that out, man.
The amount of times people have been saying like, "Well, I know which one's bringing sexy back." I get it. My name's Justin too. Fuck that guy. Anyway, so AMC and Regal they were not happy with the decision to bring out Trolls World Tour. So
they're being petty little school trolls.
So this is funny because again I got to reference this point. I really wish that this would have happened. We could have had fucking Jesus on the call because I told you fucking both. I said watch it. They're gonna start releasing directly to video on demand. And what did y'all say? I don't know.
To be fair, I didn't say it. It was Jesus. I was just an innocent bystander. I was just there. I was like, you know what? That sounds plausible.
You were like, you know what? I'm going to back up Jesus because he's my better friend, apparently. So, do you have a podcast with him? Didn't think so. Anyway, so there's this whole thing, the video on demand. I told him that I saw it coming a mile away. If there's no theaters to release these movies, they have two choices. They either stop making movies completely, which is that's not an option. They have all these movies that are working on editing stuff. They're not going to just hold off and see what happens. They're going to.
A lot of them are like in post-production, trying to get all the special effects and stuff done.
Yeah. So, what do? Do they wait for the theaters to open up, which maybe never? They can hold on to the movies and wait for that to happen, or they can do what a lot of companies said that they started doing. I said they should start doing it. They started releasing it video on demand.
Yeah.
Movies like Invisible Man and Bloodshot, they're already in theaters for a couple weeks before video on demand hit. If I remember correctly, Bloodshot was in theaters for like 2 or 3 weeks, and Invisible Man had come out like a week and a half or 2 weeks before this whole thing.
Both are shitty movies. So.
Both are shitty movies. Yeah.
Those could be released video on demand, and I wouldn't really care.
The Hunt never got a theatrical release, and is still one of the better movies out of those three for sure. So Trolls comes out. Trolls, so Frozen 2, right? Which I want to use that for perspective. Frozen 2 came out. It was not being sold. Disney said, you know what? Y'all need to fucking let it go. Let's put fucking Frozen 2 on Disney+.
Oh, you just were waiting to say that, weren't you?
Yeah, I actually. No, just like most everything else I come up with, it's straight up from right here. Okay, straight up top of the dome. All right. So they said, here, take this movie, make your kids shut up, and you guys will have fun. It's fine. Watch Frozen, both of them. It's cool. Your kids will be frozen in front of the TV. So Universal said, you know what? Let's take a fucking shot here. Let's take a shot in the dark. What's going to happen? One of two things will happen. They're either A, going to release this movie and it's going to be a flop, at which point they would have made their money back anyway, right? Or this could be a crazy smart move to make. Now, do you know by chance how much theaters generally charge studios?
No. Okay,
so studios make roughly about 50%, maybe just a little bit more, back from the return because the studio has to pay the theaters. They split the cost basically. So the theaters say, hey, we have to make money we can't just make money just off of fucking the concessions. We make money off the ticket sales. We split the difference pretty much, and then we're done. So they make about 50%, but while the theater holds on to all the concessions, right? Yeah. So all these the AMC, the Regal and stuff, they're making a killing. That's why their popcorn's $15 a fucking pop.
Well, I don't know about that because AMC is kind of in a shitty financial situation.
Maybe not AMC, but Regal, Santikos, all these other theaters, and I guarantee AMC and Regal will not be the last ones to join this list. That's fine. But with AMC and Regal taking a very staunch approach against Universal Studios, saying that what you're doing is wrong. What is that? Okay, so what they're doing right now, they're preventing. This is the simple answer of what happens when someone says, well, I guess I'll learn how to fish, right? Yeah. So you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a day. That's what they do. They teach a man to fish. They give a man a fish. They say, hey, put your fucking movie here. We'll split the money and we'll be fine. But then Universal Studios says, hey, how about we do a video on demand? And it blew the fuck up. Doing video on demand on Amazon Prime, on any other platforms they chose, they kept about 80% of their income from those movies. So you go from making 50% to making 80%, and they're charging $20 a pop to rent it for, I think, 48 hours or something like that. And every kid in America wants to watch this movie. They're not going in groups. They're not getting some kind of group discount. They're going all together. They're all collectively buying it across the United States. It was one of the most streamed movies the week it came out.
Yeah, I was amazed when I saw that. I was like, holy shit.
Well, it's Trolls. Kids love Trolls, right? And this is it's true. The first one did really well too. So with this one doing as well as it has been, Universal Studios has already implied that they do not plan on stopping video on demand releases while we're doing work like the whole stay at home thing.
Yeah.
AMC and Regal were not happy with that because we don't know what time AMC and Regal will be getting back open. Right now, with the whole releasing, this opening to stay back up, that could result in up to 25% occupancy on theaters. So if they do 25% occupancy, and even if at that point they come out with Fast and the Furious, there'll be a line out the door waiting to watch it. They will sell in tickets for sure every single couple of hours. But what does that mean when they only have 25% occupancy? It means they're not making their money back. Universal Studios will put the movie on Prime for $20 a pop, and they will destroy the amount of money they will make on that movie. Will make it one of the top grossing movies in the entire world. I promise you that. At least from the perspective of how much money they make.
I just think it's wrong to alienate. You're alienating. This is gonna hurt the theaters big time. It's gonna hurt AMC. AMC's already in a tough spot, and they're gonna be shit on because you got I actually wrote them down. The big movie release is coming out next year because everything kind of got pushed back. You got Fast 9, which is just a money maker. I like the series despite what people say because I feel like they know what they are. They know they're basically an action movie at this point. Yeah. It's not really
like if you can go into a movie and turn your brain off and watch a movie and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's mindless fun. I enjoy it. I it doesn't make any sense sometimes logically, but who cares? You're just going to enjoy an action movie. Yeah, Fast 9. Yeah, Jurassic fucking World. Who I'm gonna go see it, even though I haven't liked these last two movies. I'm gonna go see it anyway because I love Jurassic. I didn't like Jurassic World. I didn't like Jurassic. What was the second
Kingdom?
One? I didn't like that one either. They
Fallen Kingdom. To me. No, Jurassic World was good. Shut your fucking mouth. Anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Wasn't.
Says the man who likes Fast and Furious. Shut up.
You got that. You got No Time to Die, the James Bond movie, which I was upset got fucking pushed back because I was really looking forward to. And then you got fucking horror movie icon, fucking Halloween, that's distributed by Universal too. So you're literally that's four big titles that you're not going to get any fucking revenue from because you're being a whiny little bitch.
So here's the thing. This is what I'm saying. The theaters are asking. This all happened because Universal said while we're staying from home, while we are confined to a quarantine, we will continue to do video on demand, and we will. And they never said that we will continue beyond that, but they said they will. Based on the article, they wrote or that I saw when they're. God damn it, being interviewed, they said that we will consider our options moving forward. All they said was from a business perspective. Now, for AMC and Regal to come out and say, hey, you're damaging our business by doing what's good for your business, that is what I would call a bit of a selfish move. The fact of the matter is there are thousands of other movies you can watch. Disney hasn't pulled out of anything, and they said, hey, yeah, we give our shit away for free if you pay for the subscription. So we're not charging for that movie, right? So they gave away Frozen 2. It was in theaters for like 2 seconds. It wasn't even ready to go into DVD yet, but they said, yeah, we wouldn't upload it. Our engineer accidentally hit go ahead. So
I just think that a theater, especially like AMC, has no room to. They're already struggling as it is. I think this is a bit a bit blow to AMC.
You know why AMC is struggling, right?
Those are shit.
They're fucking movie pass.
Oh yeah.
They came out with this great idea for the movie pass, and they said, hey, watch 3 movies. Or I'm sorry, watch unlimited movies. Watch a movie a day if you want to. And you get 50% off concessions. And you get all this shit thinking that money would just fucking pour in. $20 a month. Are you fucking shitting me? What part of this did you think you would not recoup your losses on?
Yeah, and then didn't they start limiting the movies you could watch?
I think it was up to 3 movies. Wasn't like up to like 3
no, but
movies
wasn't
a week
it only certain titles too?
Well, no, yeah. So they wouldn't allow you to watch weekend release, like the first weekend of movies.
Yeah, they had fucking stupid.
Like for like the first week of the movies, you couldn't watch it because you were fucking the numbers up. They wanted to get real actual ticket sales.
You know what's the way to do it? Alamo Draft House Pass. That is the way to do it.
So, the one thing that I would be interested to see what Draft House says about it, right? And this is a conversation I have.
Well, they did the right thing too, especially during this quarantine. They paused your subscription.
What I'm saying is this: they also came out and said they're not going to open up. Even the state opens up.
Call.
Yeah, they say we're not. 25% occupancy is a fucking drop in the bucket versus the cost they would go through for people to actually work there, for the amount of food and stuff like that. But I'm willing to bet you that Alamo Draft House I bet you they won't give a shit. I bet you they will be completely okay with the idea. Hey, Universal, you want to get yours too? That's fine, because there's other movies we can show. Not to mention, AMC and Regal could learn something from Alamo Drafthouse in the fact that Alamo Drafthouse, what is their biggest draw? It's the environment.
Yeah.
Their biggest draw, yeah, you get to watch good movies there, but it's the
It's
food.
to eat at your fucking. The food's delicious, by the way.
Yeah.
Now I will say it's a tad overpriced.
But again, I mean, you're paying $8 for a movie ticket when you go during the matinee.
I'm paying.
Well, I get
$1.
it. You're a fucking movie pass guy. Okay, we got you.
Yeah.
You get the Alamo Draft butt pass. So when you go to the theater to the Draft House, you get an option of buying food. You get
Delicious
tickets at a lower price. If you have the annual pass, the one that you pay per month or something like that, you get a much cheaper ticket.
They also offer cool events that other theaters don't. Like
that's what it's good at. Yeah,
they have like the viewing parties and the sing-alongs,
quote-alongs, and yeah.
Dude, I remember the first time I saw The Room.
Was that quote-along?
Yeah, it was, and we got a football, and we got I forgot what else we got, but it was a really fun time, and it was just like that was the first time I ever saw it. It was the best.
We went to a Talladega Nights quote-along.
Oh, dude, I would have loved it.
We got the fucking those little plastic sticks that you smack together, the balloons.
Yeah.
You smack those together whenever something exciting happens. I wanted the number one hand, but they didn't have any of those. But instead, you'd quote along and everyone would yell, "If you're not first, you're last." And there are a lot of the best part about stuff like that is there are a lot of other quotes that happen in that movie that they don't prompt you to say, but everyone in the fucking crowd knows.
Because it's fun.
Quote along, so you're gonna quote along with it. It's fun.
Oh, also, my favorite fucking band ever, Rush. They did a special screening of their R40 tour, and they actually had a Rush cover band come and perform at right in front of the screen. It was fucking dope. Yeah, I don't care what you say.
That sounds great.
Now I will say, and my night was ruined because the power ended up going out. The power ended up going out twice, and we got rain checks for it. It was kind of a bummer, but yeah, it was fun. It just it inspires people to get together, especially ones that have similar interests in movies and stuff like that, and to go and just have a good fucking time, dude. That's why I love the Draft House.
Rush really brought the house down that time. So so I get no, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think Alamo Draft House is gonna have any problems with this, but it's Regal. They try to do shit with those phantom events, never works out very well.
No.
They have very poor attendance for those. For AMC, they tried the movie pass, it doesn't work. Plus, not to mention, the only thing good about AMC is if you go to like the theaters that have the nice seats, you're gonna pay $14 to sit your fucking.
Oh, those recliner ones?
Yeah.
Or
the recliner ones that have a little bit of rumble and stuff in them. Those like the 3D fucking 4D seats.
Yeah.
I went to go watch I went to go watch Infinity War. I took my uncle to go watch Infinity War. We sat in those really nice seats. We got in the theater. We went to a matinee. The movie had already been out for like 4 weeks by this point. I saw it prior to this point, but I told him I'd take him. So we went to go see the movie. No one else was in the theater, and I didn't pay for the good seats. But you know what? We fucking sat in the good seats, and the attendant didn't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
So, but things like that, they're nice for that, but they're just not. If you're going to be upset that another company is adapting to what's going on right now, that just tells me that you're not ready for the shit that's going on and you're poorly planning. I get the idea behind a movie studio doing video on demand is a very alien idea. And the fact that they're saying, hey, we're making more money we've ever made before. And they're starting to see the light. And I guarantee you 100% that Universal Studios is the first one to have started what could potentially be a huge impact on the theater going experience. But as long as the theaters remember two things: A, look what happened to plays. Plays are hard to find out because people don't want to put time into plays. New York has a big theater district, right? In fact,
Broadway and all that.
We went to go see It was the play put on by Matt Stone and Trey Parker. It's the fucking.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of it though.
Yeah, I can't think of the Mormon Book of Mormon.
Yeah,
we didn't go see that, and that was really funny. I've never seen a musical like that before live. So things like that will have their place, but things like movies are not always going to have the place, and that's just the way the world's going to be moving if we continue to deal with pandemic situations like this. And it would behoove theaters to be ready for that. Start doing other things. Start doing the shit that Alamo Draft House is doing. Be fun. When I go to Draft House, I know I'm in for a good time because I'm going to eat a goddamn burger I shouldn't be eating. I'm going to have
I get that Royale with cheese every single time.
That's the way to do it, with bacon, extra bacon. So I do the Guinness milkshake. Have you ever had that before?
No, I haven't had that one.
You owe it to yourself. That's a good one.
I think I had with I remember when It came out, It Chapter 2, I had like the bloodiest shake ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fucking, it looked like red. It was fucking dope as shit. It had like cherries, and then it had rum chata in it or some shit like that. I think it was fucking delicious.
Well, so they do things like that. They make it fun. They make it interesting. Not to mention, as soon as you
like custom menus and shit like that.
Yeah, and if you go in at night, if you go to the one there at Westlake, so you have the opportunity before the comic book store shuts down, you can go walk around that place.
Oh yeah,
if you
I was
get out,
going there.
Yeah, if you get out early, stop on by, look at the comic book shit, because I like buying little statues and stuff from my game room. Things like that are what make Alamo Draft House so much fun. So AMC, Regal, fucking figure it out, mate. That's all I'm gonna say. Sort your shit out. Yeah. I feel bad for the fact that the theater, the whole movie going experience may potentially be changed for the better or for the worse. But you know what is honestly, for somebody who I don't want to have to deal with kids crying in theaters. I don't want to have to deal with fucking whiny little brats in front of me. The fucking 15-year-old kids who are dropped off by their parents. They're sitting in the front and giggling because now they can act like assholes when their parents are there. Things like that. While they may have that little, that's a little magic that go into the theaters. Some people get off on the fact that like, there's life around me. Fuck that, dude. I came to watch a shitty movie and go home and be mad about it.
Speaking of shitty movies and shitty experiences, that brings up a time where me and my dad and my brother went to go see the Bye Bye Man. And we went to the Live Vote Theater. It's a Regal. It's Regal. Yeah, it's Regal. And apparently that night it was like a field trip for a fucking school. Where it was a bunch of fucking rowdy teenagers in the theater. They filled up every seat, and they were during the theater. They were like running up and down the aisles and shit, and like getting out of their seats and like cussing at their friends behind them. Like, did you see that shit? Like, dude, I was like, I wanted to fucking like strangle those fucking people.
So the kids fall down in the theaters. It makes you so happy. It's like fun.
Yeah. It was a bunch of high schoolers, and my dad was like annoyed as shit. He was just turning around, just like, and the movie was shitty. I mean, the Bye Bye Man was shitty.
No, I would have gone to the front and be like, yo, you guys had a shitload of kids in there. It ruined the movie. I want my money back. You could have experienced a shitty movie and got your money back. Be a Karen for a second. It's fine. You can't say Karen. That's
no, don't say that. You'll
fuck that, dude. Someone. Goddamn Karens.
You'll upset a Karen.
You'll upset a Karen. You're being a real Karen right now. You know what? Let me share a little shitty movie experience with you as well. So we went to go see Silent Hill, the first one. Mm-hmm. So first of all, that movie, when you go see that movie in the theater, I'm the kind of person when I get scared in theaters because the movie's scary, I try to alleviate the situation with humor.
Yeah.
Right? So
that's how it was when I saw The Conjuring. I remember the first one. Yeah.
So there was a moment where she's driving, she loses control, she smashes her head against the driver wheel, the fucking steering wheel, and then the screen goes white. So I'm like, well, that's it. I took my hat off and started walking, and people had a good laugh about it, right? There were kids in the theater, by the way. There was a couple kids here in the theater, and this is the part that really bothered me. So they weren't necessarily phased at all. I think they weren't paying attention. But you remember the scene where Pyramid Head grabs that lady and grabs your skin?
Yeah.
He fucking peels her like a potato, right?
Yeah.
So when he grabbed her and grabbed her skin, I was like, the skin comes right off, right? Like it's a cooking show, and the kids were not having that. They started getting upset about that. So really? Yeah. They I think just the fact, I don't know. Maybe the image, maybe what I said, they just weren't. It didn't really affect them. I think just the idea of Pyramid Head tearing skin off.
Yeah, it wasn't even you. It was
scary enough already. But I would like to hope that it was what I said scared them, but probably not. Maybe they just weren't ready for cooking shows. So. That brings us to our last little bitty segment in this little bitty city.
Oh, the joy.
So, when you play through video games, you have the good and you have the bad. You have your protagonists and you have your antagonists, the good guys, the bad guys, the people we root for. Is actually a very subjective term, right? It's like I told you earlier today, whenever I'm not afraid to make someone's day bad, because you have to be prepared for the fact that one day you're going to be someone's bad guy in their story, which is totally fine. That's actually a really cool fucking way to think about it. So we made a list. I feel like it was easier for me to come up with a list of bad guys, and for you, it was easier for you to come up with a list of good guys because you're a fucking goody two shoes. So, we're gonna go through a list here, and you're gonna start with the good guy, and I'm gonna say what my top 3 bad guys are. We're gonna go back and forth real quick. At the end of which, we're going to you're gonna pick a good guy, and I'm gonna pick a bad guy for your good guy to fight. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So start us off, Raul.
And this is in no particular order. I mean, it's just it's not like ranked top to best. It's just I'm just naming them. Max Payne.
Explain yourself.
So first of all, that movie was shitty with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yeah.
That started. I don't even know what the fuck that was.
How's your mother?
I really liked. There's something about it where I the one I remember most was the third one, because that was the one that I was really into.
Okay, that was actually a good one though. Yeah.
Yeah, the third one was I played 1 and 2 on my stepdad's original Xbox console, so I don't really remember them very well. I remember the third one in particular was that one airport scene at the very end of the game, and you're just against all odds, and you're going through and you're just literally murdering it, kind of John Wick style, I guess, just against all the odds. Something about that to me, just and you're doing it in slow motion too. It's the coolest fucking thing. Just that guy going against all the odds really, it connects with me, I guess. And it's just action. I love action movies. It's just, it works.
Something to tie onto that one, because that's actually a really good call out for Max Payne, because I don't think a lot of people think about Max Payne as a iconic hero. But at this point, this is the same point. His daughter, I think, didn't his daughter die?
Well, I think if I remember, they got murdered by
in the first game, right?
By drug dealers, his wife and his daughter.
Yeah, so they got murdered by drug dealers in the first game. He goes to that one getting revenge. He goes in the second one getting more revenge. In the third one, he finally is getting revenge on himself. He moved to South America. He was a drunk, but he was a bad bodyguard. Someone got kidnapped on his watch.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like his moment to...
It's like a redemption story for him, I think.
Yeah. So,
a personal redemption story.
Shaved head, fucking...
Yeah, he just looked badass.
Dude, he looked like somebody who would straight out just be like, are you looking at me? And then kill you. Not even punch you, just kill you.
Yeah.
Plus, the bullet time. That game revolutionized shooters in the fact that everyone wants to see you maim people slow motion, and that game was all for that. Yeah, so that good call out there. So I don't know how well he would do, but again, this is our direct comparison, so we'll find out. So one of my top 3 bad guys, I like him because of the fact that he always brought a certain levity to any situation, not to mention being voiced by one of the best voice actors, Nolan North. He was easily Troy Baker. I think it was Troy Baker. Fuck. God damn it. Now I gotta look it up.
Say it. Who is it?
No. I want to keep this fucking secret. I'm almost positive.
You're gonna say it anyway.
No, I was fucking wrong. Completely wrong. Anyway, I thought.
To be fair, Nolan North does the voice for practically everyone. So,
everyone.
What a legend.
All right, so Handsome Jack being voiced by Damian Clark. Handsome Jack. Have you ever played the Borderlands games?
No.
Okay, so first of all,
I know who he is. I've never played it though.
Through Borderlands, all things are possible. Jot that one down. No, so Handsome Jack is a fantastic protagonist or antagonist, in the fact that in the first game, you're going up against Hyperion, right? And in the second game, you're going up against Hyperion. And in the third game, you're going up against the remnants of a bunch of other companies that still kind of circle around Hyperion, right? So there's Handsome Jack was the leader of Hyperion, right? He's egotistical, he's funny, he's psychotic. Handsome Jack is actually a bit of a joke because his face is not his face. His face is like a plastered on face, right? They had to fix it. In Borderlands, the pre-sequel, you work for Handsome Jack. and you can actually play as a Handsome Jack body double. But the whole thing is Handsome Jack is fucking annoying as shit. He calls you shit for brains. He calls you all these things. He even names his he said, I named my horse after you. I called it Butt Stallion. Right. So there's a lot of little things like, man, you're kind of a dick. You know, he's not the worst, but he's kind of a dick. So that's why I thought he was one of my top choices.
Nice. Am I drawing for?
No, I'm gonna go again. No, you go.
Oh, okay.
Go. Go. Just fucking go. Just fucking go.
You're the bad guy. I don't know. Just go.
You go.
Okay. So my second one is, of course,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's gonna be Mario, Super Mario, dude. So I'm gonna tell you why. Because Mario is good. I used to have my GameCube, right? I had my GameCube. I used to play Super Mario Sunshine. That shit was fucking amazing. The little blue fucking anti-Mario. That shit was fucking fun. But you also have to think of like the legacy of Mario too. Okay, who does not know who Mario is? Number one, hey, he's a protagonist.
I'm listening.
So what's so fucking funny?
No, it's just Mario's like the world's biggest cuck, dude. Like he likes like fucking Peach was always running off with Bowser and shit, and Mario was totally okay with it. Like it was a little game to them. He'd go save him from the castle. Oh, you saved me, but I'm in another castle actually. You know?
Yeah, he's a fucking gentleman, dude. He's a fucking gentleman, all right?
Simp is what you're looking for. He's a fucking simp. Anyway,
but no, playing Super Mario Sunshine. Also, the memories I've had playing fucking Mario Kart and shit like that.
Mario Kart does go hard. Yeah.
Mario Kart practically tore my family apart. You know, if they're watching this, I'm sorry.
Mario Party was
Mario Party too. Mario Party was fun. It's just the legacy that he has and the games they've got that have like revolved around him and just the history behind that. That's why it's my number.
So, to be fair, I can only think of maybe, and this is maybe a handful of Mario games that were not good. That was the one thing about Nintendo is they had a mascot character who was good for everything. He was just he's honestly, if you made a bad Mario game, it's probably because it was a third-party game. I'm speaking specifically of Super Mario Land 2. Remember that game where not Super Mario Land 2, sorry, Super Mario Bros. 2, where you'd be able to play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, or fucking what's her face? Or was it Toad?
It was Toad.
Was it Toad? You could pick up the radishes from the ground and shit. That game wasn't. That was not a Nintendo. It was Nintendo license, but it was not an official Nintendo game. So that's why that game felt so different. And if you compare that one to say Super Mario Land 3 or Super Mario Land 2, all those games, it just did not work out very well. So, that's a good choice. I mean, when you think about it, plus Mario 64 went fucking hard.
Hell yeah, dude.
So top 3 bad guys. Number 2 for me. And this one was not a difficult decision. This is also based off of specific timelines. And honestly, I guess even now, technically, Vegeta. Now, I'm using him both in the sense of the anime Dragon Ball Z, but also in the video games you play. Vegeta is just the most egotistical piece of shit asshole out there, but he's also
I love him.
the most loyal dude. Dude, the guy has some great clapbacks in Dragon Fighter Z, especially when you use him. When you play a match, you can record it and then have an announcer fight. And using Vegeta, when you play as Vegeta and bring Vegeta in, he's like, "Oh, we already know who's gonna win the fight here." And if you lose him, he's like, "What? You just had to press one button." You know, it's like he knows the fact that he's being played in the game, and he makes jokes about that. He insults you as the player. And then when he's in the game, he insults the other fighters constantly. Watching through the anime, him and Goku are always the biggest rivals in the world. And that's also the other thing, too, is I think that this is a situation where you keep your friends close and keep your enemies closer. Vegeta knows that the only way he's going to get stronger is by staying close to Goku. And even though he's had plenty of chances to try to turn on Goku, he knows that Goku will stomp his ass anytime. So that's why he hasn't. But also Majin Vegeta for the win. But that's Vegeta's my number 2.
All right, yeah. So my number 1, I think I kind of hinted at this before we started, is going to be Kratos. And you know, and like I said, so obviously I'm younger, so I've had a lot of like my time around Kratos has been some of the newer games. Obviously, the new God of War that I platinumed the shit out of that game. I spent countless hours trying to beat those fucking Valkyries, right? that game, there's something about, I don't know what it is, and it's a certain character type too, and it's not just Kratos. It's Matt Spain in Matt Spain 3. It's Logan and fucking in Logan. Joel. Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say there, but it's something about like that archetype of like the grizzled veteran, like that story. I don't know why I'm drawn to that. Again, maybe it's just
I feel like and not to cut you off, I think the reason why people are drawn to characters like that is because of the fact that and taking a serious note, right? Look at every moral failing you've ever had in your life. Look at every little failing you've ever had in your life. These characters embody the ability to get up, dust yourself off, and make right of a situation.
Yeah.
So Kratos did a whole bunch of fucked up shit his entire career, from God of War 1 to God of War. Yeah,
he's a God of War,
and now he has this opportunity to raise a son who he's doing his best to make him the best person he could be. He is making him a little ruthless, but he's also making him understand and appreciate the nature in the world around him.
Yeah, and he's got that whole like tough love vibe about him, like just like, you know, like that iconic line "boy," shit like that. He's literally like Atreus was literally a backhand away from just getting like like the whole game, like everything he said. But there's just something about that archetype that I really am drawn to. Even like I told you, talking about wrestling, like how I said how I wanted the Undertaker to come back is like the biker kind of old man taker type vibe, because I feel like number one, I'm just drawn to that type of character. But also, I feel like it would fit better.
It's a good redemption story,
day and age. Yeah, but yeah, it's just, and then the whole story, especially with Atreus, of him not really knowing his own. He kind of kept it from him what he was, right? So I like that conflict in there, and also like the realization of Atreus at the end being, spoilers, I guess, Loki, you know. And then he because I think Kratos knew what Atreus was, but he didn't know exactly who he was, if I remember correctly. So yeah.
No. And that's the one thing that I think that kind of made that game go off the other side. Yeah. You had this suspicion, especially halfway through the game, his mom was a god.
Yeah.
Right? So why wouldn't he be a god?
Yeah.
Kratos is a demigod himself. So I mean that he's
also a demigod from a whole other set of mythology, which when I first played the game,
I was waiting for that shit to come back up, and it did just a little bit, but
yeah. So I was like, and it's kind of cool how they set up for future God of Wars, because if you look at there was like a drawing on, or like one of the fucking murals or some shit, and it showed Greek mythology, it showed Norse mythology, but it also showed like Japanese, like shit like that. So I was hoping they would explore that like in later games, which would be really dope as fuck. I didn't understand though at first, like when I first got the game, I was like, because I knew it was Greek mythology, obviously being the God of War, but I was like, how the fuck did he go into Norse mythology? I guess it was just him just traveling to this.
He went to a different world. That's all he did. So that's the thing. Like I was expecting different portals and shit, but he literally just went to a different side of the world. Yeah. In that world, gods inhabit,
which is pretty cool.
Man, you know, so that's how it works.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the idea of like a God of War based in Japan or based in like different areas. But that's also the same wish that we've had for Assassin's Creed for the longest time. Is has Assassin's Creed in fucking Japan and China, plays a ninja. Hasn't happened yet. Whatever.
Now you're doing Vikings. That's cool.
I guess I'll just be too busy playing fucking Cyberpunk. Just fucking once that game comes out, my life is over. No, I can get why you like those that kind of archetype character. That actually kind of explains a little bit why I was drawn to the third character. My third character is you know him, you love him, Sephiroth. Sephiroth from Call of Duty. You would fucking reckon Call of Duty. Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII. So the one thing that makes Sephiroth such a unique character is the fact that this is a dude who he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has been in the zone since ever. Like he knows he can do good, or he knows he can do bad. So he just fucking does it. He doesn't think like this isn't the kind of guy you sit at home or you see sitting at home going, am I gonna win this fight? He's like, I'll go fuck these guys up. He's like he wakes up, he pisses excellence, and then goes and kills people, right? He also killed one of the most the most loved characters in the world. Depending on when you got the game, it was either Eris or Aerith, because there was a translation issue in the original copy of Final Fantasy VII. But
oh shit.
Her name is Aerith, but her name was Eris in the original version. which causes plenty of fights. When people call her Eris, if you go to YouTube and look up any videos of Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VII Remake, and someone calls her Eris, someone's quick to say, "Oh, it's Aerith," and it's like, well, if you played some of the original,
actually,
it's Aerith, based upon the release date of the original Final Fantasy VII. Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII Remake is no exception to this rule. In fact, ever since they showed him in Advent Children, he's still been a badass. I will not spoil anything, but all I'm saying is you just cannot kill this guy. He is basically the shark from Jaws. This guy's a monster. So
are you gonna pit him up against? Because I can pit him up against like Kratos then, because Kratos is saw that dude. The fucking shit he's taken. He's basically unkillable. If you think
do you know what? So just a real quick question. Do you know what Sephiroth looks like?
No.
All right, cool. Give me 1 second here, and I'm going to do me a favor. Pull up a picture. Oh, you're not here. I'll do this here. I'm gonna pull up Kratos here. You want Kratos from God of War, the newest one?
Yeah.
So let's pick up Kratos here, and let's go more images. Let's get ourselves a good one here. All right, so I'm going to do a side by side, and 1 second here. God damn it. Why can't I compute? Okay. Fuck. I am doing terrible.
Sorry, it's not like we are doing a show or anything.
I know, right? It's not like we're doing a show.
You can just edit this part out.
Yeah, no. Everyone's gonna see everyone's gonna see the struggle. Everyone gets to see me riding the struggle bus here.
Yeah, I think. Funny story. I think the first time while we're waiting, I think the first time.
Oh no, I'm ready now. Sorry.
Are you ready? Oh, okay.
So stop asking questions. So I'm gonna share my whole screen here, and we are. 1 second here. God damn it! I gotta share a specific. I don't know how to do this shit because it's like, hey,
we've used Zoom so many.
Oh, here we go. Screen 2. There we go.
Okay.
Let's move this out of the way here. So here we go.
So on the right, you got a fucking man. The definition of a man.
So you have Kratos, who has a big old scar at his belly from when
battle scars.
Zeus penetrated him. So right there, he's carrying an axe. It's a modest axe, and he has magic powers, and he throws the axe around. He upgrades his gear at some point, but he also has a little son who gets in the way and tries to shoot shit with his toy arrows, right? On the left side, you have the crazy clone.
How big is that fucking sword? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, so this right here is about the same size as Kratos standing up. No, Kratos. No, Kratos is standing up. This thing would cleave him in half. The other problem.
All Kratos has to do is grab your little bitch by the neck, dude, and just rip him in half.
So, considering the fact that you've never played Final Fantasy, it makes me really concerned to think that A, you'd even get close to Sephiroth, that he would ever get close to Sephiroth, and B, if he grabs Sephiroth, like, dude, okay, so the magic system in Final Fantasy is a very complicated magic system, right? Not like the fucking, I put a rune down there, this is to protect us. No, Sephiroth, he was bringing a meteor to Earth to destroy it. He was like, you know what, this place makes me bored. And then the meteor started falling, and they had to cast holy and shit to stop the meteor, which is a different thing. They had to cast other spells to stop it. They had to fight him. After they beat Sephiroth in the original story, you know what happened? He's not fucking dead. They killed him. He's not dead. What happened to Kratos? Has he died yet? No.
Okay.
He has gone to... He's gone. No.
He really can't die. I mean, if you think about it, look at the shit he's fucking taking.
He's gone to Hades. No, they told him. Remember, they said in this game, be careful. Here you can die. You can't die in fucking Greek land. Here,
well, take your little bitch with the sword to Greek land, and then.
Okay. So real quick, you're just saying like, hey, okay, so obviously give me the. No, they're gonna stay in fucking Norseland.
Dude, first of all, he's a demigod, right? First of all. Also, he can just call in the world serpent.
Sephiroth is basically a demigod.
He can just call in the world serpent and fucking chomp Sephiroth to fucking bits.
I feel like, just like in most things,
the world serpent is a fucking snake that wraps around the world. It's a big ass fucking snake. Hence why it's called the world serpent.
You won't have a world serpent after Sephiroth destroys the world. I think the problem here, Raul, is just like most things in this world, you're ill-equipped for the argument. I think that you know what we need to do is we need to sit down. We're going to do it next week. I'm going to get all the stats for Sephiroth. Okay. I want you to do yourself your due diligence and come up with a really strong argument why Kratos would win. We will finish this tomorrow or next week. So next week it will be Sephiroth versus Kratos in the Factathon. You ever seen the show Screw Attack? By Screw Attack, it's called Death Battle. We're not going to have an animated fight, but we're going to definitely go over the stats and talk about why each one would win. And we're going to have this out. And better yet, next week we're going to have somebody on the show. Then I will pick somebody. They will answer better, even better than that. Let's leave it to the people who view this. So we're going to talk about this in the show. And we're going to put a poll on our Twitter, on our Facebook, and on our YouTube as much as we can.
You can't do a poll on Facebook, unfortunately.
And you can't?
No, it's on groups. You know for some reason, I messaged Facebook already. Never got a response back. For some reason, the poll feature because
they said you're doing it wrong
for groups.
So we'll figure it out. I bet we will figure it out.
You just have people comment.
Yeah, there you go. Fact of the matter is, though, I bet you Sephiroth's going to win. 100%.
Okay, well, that's cool.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that last 20 minutes. Raul just wasted 20 minutes arguing why Kratos would win. Yeah, it is. No, it's you ain't going here. So
I was about to make that joke. He beat me to it.
Fucking asshole. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with us for the time that you have. We really appreciate you guys staying tuned for the show. Stay tuned next week when we come out with our Sephiroth and Kratos death battle. And we bring another great guest on the show, which is a super secret because I don't know who it is. And then, keep playing games, keep watching movies. And as always, my name is Justin, and I am joined by
Raul
and Julia. And you guys have a great night.
Have a good night, guys.
The game goes on.